Hello everyone, I'm DemonKnght, and this is an introduction video to my channel. A little about myself. Born in Charlotte, Michigan. At age 4 moved to Los Angeles, California, Long Beach, Lakewood area. I pretty much grew up there for most of my life. Later on in 2005, moved to Kalamazoo. Well, in the interim of that time, at age, say, around 7, people introduced me to ColecoVision and Atari, and I started playing video games and really enjoyed it. And it was great because I liked a certain sport, but I wasn't so outgoing. You know, kind of hard to compete when everyone's taller than you and skinnier. You're considered an oddball to certain people, and only people who really got to know you through association and, you know, interacting, that they discovered that. Do I have some odd moments? Yes. But am I really different from everybody? No. I'm just like everybody else, except for personal things, but I'm a real outgoing person for an introvert. You know, once I get to know you, I get more interactive. And like I said, it has to do with my childhood upbringing, that maybe someday, if you guys really show interest in who I am as a YouTuber, and hopefully I become, maybe, you know, I'll never be the greatest, because there's my idols out there who will always be greater than me. But if I get a following, yeah, another dream fulfilled. Like I said, they introduced me to video gaming and video games and systems. And then along came the first Atari home computer and the TR-80, which was also known as the Trash 80. And then after that came other computers. And then when I was, let's see, between 11 and 13, when internet became more popular, even though it was still kind of slow, it wasn't where it is today. You know, you're talking about 81 to 83 or something like that. You know, internet had just kind of started hitting all the households. You know, so yeah, my friend, real dear friend, and his, at the time, was his middle school and high school sweetheart. They were, I guess, engaged way back then. At that time, none of us took it serious. I've seen enough sweetheart relationships go downhill quick. Didn't happen with them, and I'm glad. You know, glad they're happily married. But back then, they did a glorious thing for me. They knew that even though my mom had just finished her schooling and started her job at Hughes Aircraft as an aviation electronic tech, that we were still low mid class poverty level type. You know, we didn't have a lot of money. You know, there was my mom, my stepdad. His job wasn't the greatest. You know, there was me and my sister. My sister's 3 years younger. she was what everyone wanted, and that left me somewhere else. And that's a different story, and not relevant to this. Really, I mean, they built me a gaming computer, and even in their own house, because I guess the parents really did believe that they really were in love, and they had it where, should you guys go your separate ways, then you guys, there's no argument within court. You will sell the house and divide the money in half. So they have their own house. Well, these great people, along with giving me a computer of my own that they built using their money, because I was still an up-and-coming kid, they built it for one purpose: gaming. And they had internet, and so they said, "This is your little desk. This is basically your computer station in our house." And the neat thing was, the way their house was configured was unusual compared to other houses. It was like a computer den, but it had one door on one side of the room, at the one end of the room, that led to the house. They had the double key deadbolt. The other side, I mean, it was a nice size. The other side had the door that led outside. So they gave me the key for that. And I had the key for this, but I never used it. Unless they were home. Then I would go through that door and go to the restroom. Otherwise, one way out. To the outside. Oh, then I had the key to the add-on to the garage that was actually a restroom. So that's why I didn't use the other room, because I'm like, if I have to go use the restroom, there was what they called the patio bathroom. It was originally built because they're gonna have a pool, this big patio, and barbecue, fire pit, bonanza thing. But they said until that happened, that if I wanted, that could be my personal bathroom. And it even had a shower. Okay. Thanks. They're like, well, hey, we're like family, you and I grew up together. He's right, we did. When I went from one school to another, seriously, he went from that school to that school. And when my family, and the bad thing was, I was having trouble keeping friends because my parents wouldn't stop moving every couple of months. I don't know what was up with that. I don't understand it. I don't know if I ever will. I'm sure there was a reason for it. I didn't understand. We seemed to move a lot. And every time we moved, it seemed like gained less and less friends. And I think it was partly me, because I'm thinking, when you're a kid and you lose friends, it hurts. Because when you're that young, your friends are the same as family. And we were moving too often, and I was losing more and more. And because the kind of person I am is, if we really become friends, it means you took the time to know me, and I spent the time to know you. I don't become friends like that. Acquaintances for a long time. We become good friends. I mean, these were like my best friends at different stages of my life. Every time I moved, and and lost contact with him, it took a chunk of me out. So I was like less and less inclined to make new friends, because I'm like, well, why go through all that trouble? I'm gonna lose them again because my mom and them are gonna probably move. Oh, looks like we're gonna stay. Okay, make some friends. Gotta move again. Okay, thanks for having me do all that. But anyway, him and as I moved, seemed like his family moved too. And if we never seemed to be more than 2 cities apart. I mean, enough to where I could take a bus. We rode, and of course, when I was younger, we were riding bikes and roller skates, and we'd go to each other's houses. And granted, I'd get in trouble a lot because I'd always come home late, because I was the kind of person that, even then, I was showing signs of being bipolar ADHD, because I have a hyperactive mind. It's spinning off too fast to where I have trouble staying focused without seriously focusing, and sometimes I get, causes some other issues, but that's not really important. But I'd lose time and get home, and it's like, oh no, here we go again. Anyway, him and his girlfriend now, who is his permanent wife, just put it, the simplest term, and I'm proud of him for that. I wish I could have been that lucky with my wife. It didn't work, but anyway. But they both made me feel comfortable and part of that family, even though I was just a friend. I mean, but you always say, no, you're like my little brother. And she's like, yeah, you're like my little middle brother, You're older than me. He's older than both of us, but, you're like the brother in between type thing. And I was proud of that. Because unfortunately, my real sister weren't close. And now I wish we could have been. But they introduced me to the world of gaming. And I mean the real world of gaming. Started off with just BBS BBS System, I think is what it was called then. It was multiplayer, but not the same kind as how MMORPGs are now. It was more of action to reaction type base. There was time delays between, okay, I'm going to this planet and doing this and this, buying this, selling that, stealing this, whatever type. Then, of course, the multiplayer base system really got strong, where real multiplayer online games came out. And for you, those who are not familiar with one of the first ones that I remember, if you want, you can Google it. Back then, there was only 20-something servers, and they were kind of private public. And now there's thousands of public servers, and it's called MU Online. And no, I don't remember what it stood for. It was just always to all of us who played, you want to play some MU? Yeah, let's go play some MU. And that was my first introduction to the game system of grinding. And I hear about, like on World of Tanks, oh, what a grind. And I say it too, because I forget about the real grind that we used to have to do. World of Warcraft, Minecraft, Star Wars The Old Republic, Diablo 3, all this, that grind. That grind is mild compared to what an MU grind was. And in the near future, I'm going to try to do a video playthrough not like playthrough, start from the game, because I might start a new account just so you can show what it was like to be a noob and doing it, and then I'll switch to my account that I worked on a certain server, as long as it's still up. Otherwise, we're going to start off as noob, period, on a new server. But I think I'm going to do a gameplay of it, video, and upload it, but just not now. This is more, gives you a little background on why I want to do this, and why I hope you can become like part of my friend group. Because I learned from a couple of YouTubers that it's not the YouTuber himself that makes or break a YouTuber. It's the fans, the audience, and their interaction. And so I'm trying to give you a basis of what my channel is going to be about, which is about playing multiplayer online games, mostly with a few horror if I can get them downloaded, because unfortunately I can't really afford to buy them like some of the other YouTubers can. Part of the thing was back in that, when I first started playing online games, there was an organization that literally, that you somehow get on their list, and my friend who gave me him and his girlfriend, when they gave me the computer, somehow got me on this list. And at the time it was called AB Listers. When you got on that list, what they did, you had these different software, computer software gaming companies would send you an email, or even before that they would send you this disc and say install this, and on it was the game plus another program that helped us track when you played. And what this was is the early days of beta testing or alpha testing games. So I'm create a game. I want to see what people think of it, and we want to know how it plays. And we're not going to be okay, just this and this. They wanted a wide range, because they wanted to see what low-end computer could play it to the top end. Because honestly, a lot of PC gaming companies, they want their game one way or another to be available to anybody that wants it. Even if you got to buy it, they don't want it to be just the elitist, people with tons of money. They want a wider demographic of subscribers, players, whatever. Well, back in them days, they paid people like me and others that were on the AB list to play these games. And they could monitor how often we played, and they would ask us for feedback. What'd you like about the game? Oh, I like this and this. Well, what didn't you like about the game? Well, I think it lacked here, or too many bugs over here. Big feedback. We're getting paid $5-10 an hour for playing. I don't know if they still have something like that. If they do, someone let me know. Send me a link so I can try to get back on it. And only because I need a way to be able to get the games that you all would like to see more viewings of. Because otherwise, I'll do the free ones, and if my job ever changes to where I got the money to actually buy games, more games than what I got to play them, I'll buy them. But mostly I just, if I can free download the game, good, okay, and that's what we're going to work with. And I'll, eventually try to buy some games too. And some of my games, I got a game that I paid, but now I got to pay again because I got to get the expansion. Plus, there's one game that's totally in beta, and I finally got an answer to why I got issues, and it's like, okay, well, that computer's no longer around. But they had done this and got me into this thing, and I was making money. Not bad for a teenager, going to school. I'm thinking, hey, great, because you know what? I love playing games. Many of you do too. But I was getting paid to do it, you know. Not a lot, you know. I wasn't getting rich. Especially because, you know, got to, you know, pay for upgrades on a computer when I had it. And then I had to, you know, pay for services. And then, of course, there was new games that come out that... Because what happened was, I think the AB list thingy went away, or something happened where... Because I even asked some of my buddies, and they're like, no, we, you know, when you were taken off, we were gone too. I'm like, well, did you exit us because of that? And they go, no, you didn't exit us either. And it wasn't you did something wrong. We think that particular A-lister company that was giving our information to all these stopped. We think they went away. And I haven't heard. Someone said there was a rumor going around that there is a new one, but if you know it, let me know. Even if I don't get paid, I mean, if they just let me test their games for free, that's fine. Because that's what I want to do. I want to play new games. I want to try them out, see what's coming up, you know, type stuff. I can make a little money just so I can buy a real computer. That's it. Because unfortunately what happened was that something happened to that computer. Then I had a Dell. And it was one of the old Dell Dimension 2400s. And the problem with that was, one, I still had the version 1 motherboard, which didn't allow as much upgrades as the version 2 motherboard. And only a computer techie would kind of understand what I'm talking about. Basically, there was 2 versions to the motherboard, from maybe even a third. But I know there was definitely 2 different versions to the Dell Dimension 2400 Tower motherboard. I had the version 1, which was like a really cheap knockoff. Well, back in them days, also, they had it set up where if you did not buy an actual Dell motherboard and put it into that thing, because it didn't have the Dell signature code in it, it might have worked, but it didn't work 100%. And I had a couple of pieces that were like that, because my video card, the Dell version for the NVIDIA for that particular tower, they wanted $800, and I'm like, I ain't got $800 to spend at one time for a video card, especially because it's going to get outdated in anywhere from 3 months to a year, and then I'm going to have to buy another one and spend another $800. Well, I found one I paid $160, because it happened at the time when my job was really different than it is now. I mean, I work for the same company, do the same job. The hours there were different than they are now. They were a lot better then. Don't know what happened, but eventually I either going to find a second job to supplement, or I'm going to find another job that will give me full-time, which is going to be real hard. I'm mostly just trying to find another job. So I have 2 jobs. But I got to find another job that'll work around the hours that I got for this one, because this one is not steady. And they got to be willing to, that if my schedule gets changed at the last minute, to work with me and not penalize me. That's a little hard. But I'm going to try, because I need to get more money. Well, so I bought these parts, threw it in there. I even took it to a place that was supposed to be a professional tech, to have something done with it because it worked, but it didn't work. And when I took it to them, they said it had something to do with they needed to change the BIOS a little. It had something to do with the BIOS reading for that card and all that. Well, at that time, Dell had in there the onboard reboot system or something like that, where you would first turn on the computer, and before you would hit like Control F11, I think it was to get to Windows 8 does it a different way, but it's the same concept. Basically, it takes everything out of your system and it factory resets your hard drive. Well, from what I understood, the way Dell did it, you weren't supposed to put a different Windows system in. You were supposed to put the same exact, because the onboard something. And well, when they forced it, it acted okay. But one of the things was they told me, oh, you can't do the F11, otherwise you got to bring it back to us and pay another $150 to have us fix it again. And I'm like, that's not what I wanted. I just wanted you to figure out why this video card don't work, and if not, then I want my money back, because I bought the card from you, and you told me it would work, and you know, all the parts. Well, it worked. I noticed little errors here and there. Can't say it was. They can't ever tell me it was a virus issue. Well, I had antivirus that I was paying for. It wasn't even free. Okay, I was paying for it. It's a good antivirus. People say, oh, it doesn't work. Yes, it does. But anyways, well, it fried out the motherboard. At the time, I'm like, geez, you know, I'm really into gaming, and I need to work with something, because this is what I do for my free time, you know, to relax, to calm down, to get away from all the stress of life. So I started what they call rent-to-own laptops. Well, kept going through these, and it's like, wow, you know, this thing only worked for a month or two, and then it turned to crap. Take it back. No, I don't want this. And then I bought my Dell laptop. It was pretty good for the time, and it worked great, at least for what I was doing, you know, for the games I was playing. A little laggy, because it didn't have the NVIDIA Pro card. It had the Intel family chip generic card. There's nothing you can do about that, you know. Can't even do anything with it now. But I mean, it still plays games, and well, I made a mistake of forgetting that, one, I have a cat that doesn't just drink water. He's got to put his paw in and splash it around, and then drink. I was playing on my computer, drinking water. It was kind of hot in the morning. Or what do you got? I can't remember. But basically, I was drinking water. Well, normally I go take my drink from my computer when I'm not at it to my nightstand. When it worked, I forgot to move it. Or I'm thinking in my head now, so I think back to it, I must have originally thought I drank it all. I remember looking around for something to drink and forgot all about the water. This call from a roommate. They happened to come in to check on my cat or something, and it was, your cat knocked the cup of water over on your desk. Okay. Get home. Water's all over the place. Didn't see no water on my laptop. I'm like, okay. Turn it on. Turn it off. flip it up. Water just draining. And it wasn't no drip, drip, drip. It was, you know, imagine cutting your arm and it just, blood just, not squirting out, but, you know, coming out. Water's doing that. I'm like, oh no. The warranty helmet's gone. Because, Best Buy wanted straight up $200 something for a year. I'm like, I don't have that with my job right now. You know, I got a cat to take care of myself. I got my rent, this and that. My hars have been cut. I'm like, oh no. We'll keep it off. Give me a couple days for it to try and dry and see if anything. Well, it turned on. I waited 5 days. Brought a friend's laptop to play and hitting here. It was an extra one. He said it's gonna go bad soon anyways. He already knows it's got some problems, so if it crashes, just let me know and I'll come over and I'll show you how we can get around it. Never crashed on me though. But I did get it back there tomorrow because I was worried, you know. I really don't want someone else's computer, and you know, if they give it to me, it's one thing, but I don't want someone else's computer and then it crashed, and then I'm gonna feel bad and think that it may have been something I did. You know, I don't want a responsibility for someone else's computer. I already goofed up with my own. I don't want to goof up on somebody else's. I used it occasionally. Well, the computer turned on, and where you're supposed to put in the password, because I password lock all my computers. You would see this. You can't read it, but it starts going across, which means it was like a key lock. Well, I'm hitting on my keys trying to unlock it. They're all acting like they're not locked. And then they push down and they come up. Try to hit backspace, no response. I'll just keep hearing it. And it's still going. I'm like, that's not good. Turn it off. I'm like, that's good as the motherboard. That's what I'm thinking. So I go back to rent a home computer. I'm not happy with anything. And then finally, it's getting tired of Acer. So I'm like, I don't want an Acer. And then someone gave, to try something at Toshiba. I started making payments on it. Then all of a sudden I noticed something weird about it, and I took it back. And they were supposed to send it to the shop and then call me to tell me the solution. They were gonna call. I'm like, you know, whatever. I went somewhere else. Rented to own my new laptop. And of course it's all paid off. No insurance again. But I'm taking better care of it. The Dell had Windows 7. This is Windows 8. I'm kind of familiar, but still learning parts of it. And, you know, like other YouTubers, I go to there. I Google it to see, hey, do you know how to do this? Oh, this is how you do it. Watch their video. All right, nice. Thanks, guy. You know, and I'm always commenting, hey, thanks for that info, man. I was trying to figure this out, and I'm like, you know, it's not that I'm computer illiterate. I just don't I am so into playing the games, I hadn't thought about learning everything I should about the new upcoming anything. I'm basically, when I get it, I'll figure it out, and if I can't figure it out, someone else will have already figured it out, because some of you guys are really computer techie, and within 2 days of owning a computer, you've already made 18 videos saying, this is how you do this, and this. Great. Thank you. And now I can go focus on what I really want to focus on, which is gameplay, and now YouTubing with gameplay, because I love playing online games. So the quality doesn't seem right. understand, I'm doing off a laptop now. I got my Dell working because it wasn't the motherboard. It was something to do with the keyboard, and I happened to find a place that sells the replacement keyboard, and I bought one, put it in. Sure enough, now it works great. Doesn't work as well as this because, of course, it's Windows 7, different system, and it's got the Intel chip, whereas this has the Intel, but this is HD graphics, and that's just fairly generic. So it's not way better, but it's slightly better. But it has, I think that does have the 512. This one has the 128, and I gotta look into that, whether if that's what I think it is. If it's the RAM, then I just need to change my cards because one is only 4 gig on it, and I can go up to 8. And I need to see if that'll change into the 512 RAM, or if that's actually the video card. Then I'm screwed and can't get it upgraded. But I'm hoping that to get another job or a different job, and where I can afford to buy me another pro built from scratch gaming computer. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what a friend of mine suggested, which is to get 2 video cards, 2 different high grades. One would be top and the other one would be not too far below. And then he said run them in crossfire pattern, which is supposed to give me like 4 times the video capability. We'll see. I'm going to look around, gotta want to get the money and slowly buy the parts, and then once I buy all the parts I want, then talk, I'll talk to Tex and go, hey, what's your recommendation? Should I do this or should I do that? I want a gaming computer that can be upgradable when the new crap comes out. New video card, this and that. But anyway, but like I said, I got into gaming. And then someone introduced me to the world of YouTube. I've heard of it, I've never gone to it. I'm like, I want to see other people's videos for, I didn't really know what it was all about. And the only time I ever went to YouTube was if I Googled it, and how do you do this on this? It had nothing to do with games. It had to do with minor, like, how do you take a Dell screen apart so you can replace it? Because I don't want to pay a tech to do it if it would be cheaper for me to do it. And of course, it's on YouTube. Okay, so I'd use it for that, but I really didn't pay attention to YouTube otherwise. I didn't even watch the music videos because I tried and hated how it says that it was the official video, and then also you go play it, and it's someone recorded the song, but there's no video to it. It's just an image that was recorded, but it said official video. Well, they introduced me back to YouTube on a different reason, now to watch people, for entertainment value. But they directed me specifically. And I said, just go to YouTube and randomly. They go, no, go check this person out. The first person they sent me a link to, Markiplier. And one day I must have watched 20 of his older videos, and I was like, wow, entertaining. I've been missing out on this whole time, and I didn't even mean for me, as in me becoming, because I'm like, I'm not a YouTuber, I don't have what it takes. I'm hoping I do. At the time I was thinking, no, but I was like, wow, this guy is really good. And some of you might not think he is. I think, even to this day, I've seen those, I watched it from the old to the new. I really am entertained by him. And I'm glad to have subscribed to him. Then they also introduced me to people at the time, I didn't know there was any connection between them and Markiplier. Well, the first one, not really, but which was Crimson Pro. And her other, I guess they're, to me, I think they're, I had no feelings. I mean, I'm glad for him. But it's Crimson Pro and then Minx. But Minx knows Markiplier. I know this now because I've seen a couple of videos of them and their co-op play. But I didn't know that at the time. I just seen the Crimson Pro Minx videos. It's like, yeah, these are girls. Not in that kind of way, but it's like, I'm proud. Women are doing the same thing as guys, and just as entertaining. Subscribe. Because of Markiplier and his videos with his co-ops and his live streams, because I even watched those, his charity events and all that. Met some other YouTubers. At the time, only one of them was Wade, known as Lord Minion 777. Watching him and Mark's reaction, their work together. Oh, yay, great. Went to his channel to see his, and I've seen his solo plays, him and Mark's plays, him and other players, and then him and his girlfriend Molly's play. And I was like, gotta subscribe. This guy is like Markiplier, really entertaining to me, and I'm gonna follow him, because I really like their videos. Well, recently, Bob, known as MySkerm, started his YouTube, and I went to it, watched a few videos. You know what? I'm subscribing because you know what? Even when he very first started, rough around the edges, he had it. I'm like, yeah, he's entertaining me too. He hasn't found his comfort zone yet. He's getting there, but he hasn't quite hit it. And I'm not expecting him to be just like Markiplier in reaction. His reactions to anything is genuine. It's not bad. I can tell he's not 100% comfortable yet, because you can see him where it seems like he's hesitating whether he wants to react or not, whether he should or not. To you, MySkerm, all I gotta say is, go with what feels natural to you, bro. But no matter what, I'm your follower. Which led to a couple other YouTubers that they had nothing to do with Markiplier and them, but I was introduced by the important people in my life, and that was PewDiePie. Brofist. That's all I got to say. Brofist, brother. You're an awesome entertainer too. Then there's some other YouTubers that I've gotten into. Not as hardcore with them yet, but that's because I'm just started watching them. But I did subscribe to them, and I'm going to start following them. It's Polaris, JonTron, Cryotic, and of course Yummy Mash. I had already done that for a while, and I should have mentioned him earlier, but so Yummy Mash, don't think I just cut you out. No. Jacksepticeye, it's only because I just recently started seeing your stuff that's why I'm now getting into you. It's not that I ever thought you were anything less than the other ones. It was basically, I started with this and it branched out to others, and as I'm seeing it, you know, it's like, yeah, I like it. Okay, I'm gonna subscribe. Someone introduced me to somebody else. I subscribed for a while, and I'm like, that's just not me. I'm not into these. Let's Google this and comment on it. I was more of games and the reactions you have to them. I'm like, yeah, those are my YouTubers that I follow, and I hope to be just like them with followers. Time will tell. Regardless, I will record as much as I can some videos on my games that I play. Don't hesitate about commenting on the ways you think I can improve the interaction between us and the game. You're going to be straight out insulting, or probably just read and go on, but if you actually are giving me advice, I will do my best to take it to heart. I might not be at the same caliber as the YouTubers I mentioned before, but like I said, I'm new to it. I just know that I've always been into multiplayer online games and that I like playing them. And I decided that I want to record them and share them with people. And, you know, if I become a success, okay. If I don't, well, this is a hobby now. It's not a career. It's a hobby. I mean, I want it to be a successful hobby, you know, like with Markiplier, Lord Minion 777, MySkirm, PewDiePie, Minx, and all you. I mean, I'm not listening to you if I don't mention you right now. I want to become like you. I want to be part of that YouTube community. I'll do my best. Who knows, maybe I can do it. If I can't, well, this will be a fun hobby. It'll never be a career, it'll always be a hobby, but I want it to be a successful hobby. And so I will see you in another video. I salute you, and hope to see you again.